Hello and welcome. Today I want to talk about divulging personal information. Now this is on a number of levels. What made me start thinking about it though is I'm writing my next book. And in this next book I'm telling a lot of the stories about what's happened in my business. The crises, the challenges, the struggles that I have gone through, the different iterations of my business and how some of that stuff has come to be, and of course weaving in the numbers as part of that narrative. And what's really interesting in that is determining just how much you say. We all know that stories are engaging. We want to know more about people's lives. Just think about the celebrities, the royal family, anyone that's in those, glossy magazines that people flock to buy to know about their lives. We want to live vicariously through other people. We want to know all about them. They become kind of our public property. We want to know everything there is to know about them. And the same applies in business. We want to know who are the people that we're dealing with in the business, not just their name and, rank, serial number kind of thing, not their qualifications, their ability. Yes, we want to know that, sure. But beyond that, we want to know a bit more about them as a person. For me, there's nothing worse than going to a website and there's no one's name on it. I jump off. I want to know who I'm dealing with. I want to know who this person is, what their values are, what they stand for. I have a colleague of mine whose rule is that he'll only take on a client if it's the sort of person he would enjoy going to dinner with, having a beer with, in his case. But, it's that kind of thing. We want to know who they are. We want to know whether they love sports, what sports, whether they love to travel or they don't, what their favourite places are in the world, whether they've got pets, whether they're a dog person or a cat person, whether they've got children, all that sort of stuff. Because those are the levels that we connect on. We connect with the people. When we're doing business, we're working with people. The same thing with your team. You want to be able to connect with them, have a common interest, something that makes you want to be working together. Your values is fundamental to that. But what's really interesting, of course, on social media is not everybody, but there is a lot of posts about people's personal lives, where they're travelling, where they've gone for dinner, who they're out for dinner with, what they ate, what the dog did, what the child did, all those very personal things. And so we feel like we know them a lot better. But the big question is, how far do you go with that? How far do you put it all out there? But from a business perspective, what do we want the world to see? I have worked with a number of mentors over the years, not a lot, because it's not been my thing in the sense I was very independent. I didn't know I had mentors in my early working life. But there are business people that I look up to, people that I aspire to, and people that I kind of think I know. But the reality is I don't know them. I know their professional persona, and it's not to say that their personal persona isn't the same. I'm not saying that they aren't a different person privately. It's just they don't put out much about their private life. There might be a little snippet here and there, but you basically have no idea about them. And you may know a bit of their backstory of how they got to where they are, because they may tell some of that. But there's kind of an invisible wall that's there where they're not telling you about their personal life. And that's fair enough. I'm one of them. I don't talk a lot about my personal life. You don't know whether I've got kids. You don't know whether I'm a dog or cat person. Probably. You might have figured that out. I don't post photos of my family. I don't post photos of going out for dinner very often. Occasionally there might be a dessert. Yes, you all know I love desserts and chocolate. That probably has come out. But a lot of things about me, you wouldn't have a clue. But hopefully, I have said enough about my values of who I am, my my authenticity, my realness, my honesty, my integrity, my knowledge, my wisdom, my desire to help people, my mission to make a difference to the world. Hopefully you know that. And that's the important part. And the other stuff is important too. It's just a question of degree. So it's important for me to know more about, the people in the business, the people in your life as a client. But I don't need to know the nitty-gritty detail. And I just wonder how much we really need to share of our personal lives, our personal information, to connect with people. When you're telling a story of what's happened and why, the lesson that you perhaps learned, which is, as I say, it is the basis of my current book that I'm writing. Yeah, I'm sharing stuff that I've never told people. And it's scary. It's like, what are people going to think when they read this? It hasn't all been a bed of roses without the thorns, the thornless roses. It hasn't been. It's been a bed of thorns. So next time you're looking at posting about your personal life, think about, is it serving the people that you're working with or wanting to work with when you're talking about it from a business sense? Personal-wise, it's fine. If it's just purely amongst friends, that's all good. But if you're sharing it from a business perspective, how much is appropriate? How much is necessary? And just think about where the line might be.